You do not need to spend thousands of dollars on a brand new ham radio to get on the air properly. Some of the best radios that I've owned have been used. I've bought them secondhand and I would still buy them today. So in this video, I'm going to run through the best used ham radios that are still worth buying today, and all of these radios I've owned and used personally. Now what I've done is I've split this up into categories to make it easier. So whether you're getting your first ham radio, whether you're looking at upgrading or you're looking for something a little bit more versatile, there should be something for you. So let's look at the best used handheld. Now this one's actually a bit of a tie to start off with. This radio right here, this is my Yaesu VX8DR. This radio I bought probably about 5 or 6 years ago now, and it is still my go-to handheld radio. Now, it's a tri-band radio. It's incredibly capable, and to be honest, it's not the most intuitive to drive, but once you've got it set up, it's very much a set and forget type of radio. So that still holds up very well. It covers the tri-band radio 6 meters, 2 meters, and 70 centimeters. And I believe in the US, it also does 220 megs as well. And it's also got a very wide receive coverage range as well. So I've used this for all sorts of things, for receiving just general reception on FM and AM as well. It also receives airband, but I've also used it to receive down on 10 meters. I haven't really used it to receive lower than that. I've used it to receive my 10-meter FM repeater, which is very handy. It's got quite a lot of features. I initially bought this for the waterproof submersible aspect of it, because I wanted a radio that I knew that if I dropped it in the river while I was out, I could pick it back up and it would just work fine. They are a solid, reliable analog handheld radio, and they still hold up quite well. Now, from this generation, they are reasonably rare to find. Occasionally, you do see them popping up at Hamfests or swap meets, or sometimes on eBay or other used classified sites. So I'm not exactly sure what the pricing would be for one of these, but you can judge it a little bit by, there's a couple of models previous that you can still buy now brand new. That's the VX6R. This model's been around for quite a long time, and you can see here that it's around about $270 brand new. So for the extra features that you get with the VX8, you get that extra band, the submersible aspect, and all these other things, I'd probably be looking at around about $250, maybe $300 if it's in a really good condition. I can't remember exactly what I paid brand new for mine, but that's the VX8. Great radio. Again, I haven't found anything to replace it, so that's why I'm still sticking with this. However, it is tied with this radio right here. This is the ICOM IC-T90A. Now, I don't own mine anymore, and I regret selling it because it was a fantastic little radio. It used to be that there was lots of these around. I hardly ever see these for sale now. Probably because people hold on to them because they're so good. This is, again, another tri-band radio, 6, 2, and 70 centimeters, wide frequency coverage range as well. And it could do, let's just say, you could unlock it for certain things. That's all I'm going to say. So they were really good radios, super easy to use, great menu system, very beginner friendly. You could also plug in an external power supply into them as well, straight into the side. If you can get hold of one of these, you can get, I think, replacement battery packs as well for the T90. It did have a rather small battery. The battery didn't last very long at all, but it was more than enough, for if you're heading out and you needed it for a day or so. But after that, you'd probably need to change it with quite a bit of use. But again, it was a very nice radio. There still isn't anything that sort of comes close to it. So if you find an IC-T90A, you'll be very happy with it. They are a great radio. The used price for this, couple of $100, depending on the quality of them. Obviously, these are quite old radios. This T90 came out in 2002. I can't remember exactly when it was discontinued, but I think that they were still selling them brand new in the late 2000s, maybe 2010, had an absolute guess. I don't know. Someone in the comments might actually know the answer to that, but these are a great radio. Now, next up is mobile radios, and hands down, it has to be, for me, the FT8900, the Yaesu. I still use this as my main mobile radio in the car. I've had this for 15 years. And when I bought this, it was actually secondhand. So I actually don't know how old my 8900 is. I think I've owned 3 of these over the course of so many years. I've always had one in my vehicle. I've had another one here in the shack, and I also sold another one to another amateur who now uses that in his vehicle as well. Quad band, it's good for, so it does 10, 6, 2, and 70. Full duplex as well, so you can use this for satellites as well. Remote head, just bulletproof, great, reliable radio. The only thing that I've had go wrong with mine is the microphone. It was my own fault. I spilled Coca-Cola into it, but I got a replacement microphone, and it was good to go. So it probably tells you everything that you need to know. If you want something that's reliable, that you want to use in the vehicle, that does repeaters, everyday use, simplex, etc., you can also use this in your home shack as well as a sort of a base station radio, as an upgrade to a handheld radio. Then this is definitely the choice. I also use mine for airband as well, so I can listen to aircraft. It receives quite well on aircraft. And I use this for 10 meters FM repeaters, 6 meter FM repeaters, 2 meters, 70 centimeters, etc. So they're a great radio. They do pop up quite a bit. They've also got the 6-pin mini DIN here on the back, so you can interface them to other devices for, say, APRS, an All-Star node you can build out of them. You could build an APRS iGate as well, probably a bit overkill for that sort of thing because they've got the 4 bands in them. But you can do that as well. But yeah, great little radio. I'd also throw in, I'm specifying this radio in particular because this is the one that I've got. But there were other, I suppose, child models, if you want to call them those. The 2 models that I owned were the FT7800 and the FT8800. Now, the 7800 was just a single band radio. Not dual duplex. What am I trying to say? Not full duplex. It was just one. You could only select 2 meters or select 70 centimeters. You couldn't listen to 2 bands at once, but this was one of my first mobile radios. These were really good. And then, of course, there was the 8800, which is pretty much looks exactly the same and operates exactly the same menu-wise as the 8900. It was just missing 6 meters and 10 meters. So if you come across these models as well, again, they're all very, very reliable. As for price, it's going to vary, again, depending on the age and what sort of condition they're in. For the 8900, I have seen these going for as high as $400 because you just can't get the quad band functionality out of these anymore. So I'd probably be looking around, I think you'd be getting a good deal if you're looking at about $300 for one of these radios. Now, by far, the easiest decision to make is the best used HF radio for an entry-level HF radio. And I can't go past the ICOM IC7300. I still maintain that this is the best entry-level HF radio you can buy, even used. It's beginner-friendly, it has a built-in waterfall, very easy to drive, great menus. It has an inbuilt USB sound card, so you can interface it to your computer. It has all the functions that you need as a beginner. It's got inbuilt tuner as well. Now, they've sold over 100,000 of these units, which really tells you something about how popular they actually are. They came out in 2016 and were discontinued last year in 2025 because the Mark II version came out, which means that you will find that these will be coming on the used market gradually at a discounted price. Now, you can still buy them brand new as well. They are just a smidge under $1,000 after a manufacturer rebate, or you can upgrade and get the Mark II version, which is a little bit more expensive if you want to go straight brand new as well. But you should be able to start finding these popping up on the used market. But again, very safe bet. Perfect for a beginner or even your next HF radio if you're upgrading from something that might be a little bit older. Now, you may have noticed that some of the radios featured in this video you can still buy brand new. There is a link below in the description to DX Engineering. By using this link, it does support the channel and me. It doesn't change any of the prices for you, but if you do use that, then it does help me out. So I really appreciate it. Now, moving on to the next radio. This is the best all-rounder radio. And this one was a little bit tough to think about because I've had a lot of shack-in-the-box type of radios, like the ICOM IC706 Mark II-G here that I've featured before. I've also owned an ICOM IC7000 and two very, very similar radios, the Yaesu FT857 and also FT897. But out of all of those, I found that the one that I recommend today for a used radio is still the Yaesu FT991A. Now, specifically the A model version. The reason for that is because it includes a real-time waterfall scope. The earlier version, the one that I actually owned, didn't have that. It was just a single sweep scope that you had to press a button every time to update the sweep. The A version is much better. Now, this does everything that you would ever want. It does 160 meters through to 70 centimeters. It's 100 watts on HF and 6 meters, 50 watts on VHF and UHF. It has a built-in tuner, USB interface for digital modes. It also has C4 FM digital as well. So again, you can still buy these brand new today. They are essentially shack in the box. If you are looking to get started and started on everything, then this is the radio for you. Now, my sleeper pick, or the most underrated pick of them all. This is the IC705. This is one of the most versatile radios out there. I bought mine in 2020. I bought probably one of the first 705s in the country at the time. I bought mine to replace my FT817s for my microwave work, simply because it had a nice waterfall that I could make use of. Originally, I bought it for that. I ended up, though, using it for everything, just about. I've used it for soda and PODA on HF. I've used it for 2 meters and 70 centimeter contacts, including one to New Zealand, over 2,300 kilometers using just 1 watt on 2 meters. I've, again, driven my microwave transverters, made national records using that. I've used it for antenna testing, SWR, noise measurements, whisper, CW practice, and heaps more. It's incredibly versatile. The only drawback with this radio is that it only does 10 watts maximum. So that's why if you're looking for something like HF, or you're looking for HF directly, you're probably looking at something like the 7300. If you don't really care too much about the power and you just want everything in it in a nice portable type of arrangement like this, then that's where the 705 comes in. But again, I can't go past this radio. It's incredible, the amount of versatility in it. And from what I bought it for to what I actually use it for is amazing. So I'm curious, have you ever owned any of these radios at all? What's your thoughts? Did I miss out on any models at all? What would you add to the list? Is there something that should be listed here? Pop it down in the comments below. Now, I did another used ham radio list with some slightly older models that you could see that pop up from time to time on the market. That video is over here, as well as another video that if I had $500 to spend on a brand new radio, what would I get?